podcast is part of the Sports Social Podcast Network.
Tonight on the Eyrie, we look through some really quite desperate times for WRU, discuss how the Ospreys are going to go forward with some excellent news, and really, really get stuck into a Cardiff game that everyone really wants to see now. Stay tuned. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm joined, as always, by Grant and Jack. How you boys doing?
Well. Good. Yeah, good. Perfect.
Yeah, good. Still absorbing the news.
We've also had Nick make his way on in his gleaming form after his performance in Marap on Monday. Happy to have you back, Nick. How you doing?
Oh, happy, very, very happy it's as ever to be on the Eyrie, but also what a fantastic day to be on it as well. To celebrate a win, look forward to playing Cardiff, and the fantastic news that the Ospreys are safe, according to Rob Stewart, till 2030.
I mean, we'll start off with some news. We'll get on to the politics of it all in a bit. We'll save that for the middle. You have to like and subscribe if you do want to listen to that. But we'll start off with big piece of news coming out of last week that Keiran Hardy has re-signed for the Ospreys. I know early in the season he's being linked away into England. Can we just say what a signing he is? He's been utterly class for us since he joined. What do you boys think of it?
Yeah, he's brilliant. I think that he's the basics of his game are really, really good, and he executes it really quickly. And I think I think he's just a really, really good player. I was just saying before he came on that, slightly unfortunate that he's behind Thomas Williams in the pecking order in terms of Wales, and also getting on the pitch as a scrum half now. Like, as a substitute scrum half, generally you might get 20 minutes because of the way the game's changed, so to speak. You never really know, due to injuries or whatever, if you're actually going to get on in your third position because the 6-2 splits. Great news. Great news all around to add to all the great news. Yeah.
I really like Keiran Hardy. I think we're so lucky to have the scrum halves on the books that we do have. I really rate Ruben as well. And Ruben offers something perhaps slightly different but for me, if there was a choice to start and both are fit and you don't want to rotate, I think Hardy offers more if he starts. And it's backing up your point as well around Wales. He's probably better if he starts because he offers more over 50, 60 minutes than he does off maybe 10, 15.
Yeah, I like Ruben, okay, and you know exactly what you get, okay, and he's got the ability to break, isn't he? He's more of a threat around the edges. But when you look at Hardy's overall game and his support lines and the number of tries he scored for us, okay, from distance, it's a great sign, and it's almost as if when the Ospreys announced that last week, it's almost as if they had some inkling there's going to be some positive news in terms of a longer term sort of a deal for us going forward. Who knows? But it's a statement of intent and a re-signing someone as good as Keiran. That's superb news.
Can I just say the fair play again to the marketing team. That video was fantastic, to the extent that, like, I sent it to my friends who don't watch rugby, and even they were like, "That is genuinely top class announcements." So yeah, fair play, doing a great job.
I didn't have a clue who that wrestler was, mate. Not a clue.
I did. I did think, I was wondering about the demographics of Ospreys supporters and Welsh rugby supporters in general. Like, how many of them are going to know WWE players, wrestlers, that is, from my childhood? But yeah, there you go. Maybe it's a sign that.
It's a sign I'm old. Yeah.
Yeah, how
It's
old
like
I
you
am.
being old fart, Grant.
Yeah. I'll take that.
I just want to. I found a stat from Opta. Minutes per try or assist in the URC this season. Do you guys want to guess the top 5? Just quick. It is released, I promise you.
Minutes per try assist?
Minutes per try or assist.
If you can understand the stat itself, okay, you're already ahead of most people, because, I did see this pop up earlier in the week. It took me a while to get my head around it, but
Shall I take the low-hanging fruit of Keiran Hardy being at
Yeah,
3?
he's at number one.
Okay,
Wow.
all
He's
right,
37 minutes between every try or try assist he's got all season, which is
all right.
absurd. Like that's absurd. That's a try and an assist a game on average, which is 16 less minutes than the next player, which is South African World Cup winner Grant Williams.
Yeah.
You got to
I
say you expect to be scrum halves, in terms of like popping the ball up to people running, from like a meter or two out. But when you put in his sprinkling of his own tries over the top of that's surely why he's sitting there as number one.
He is
yeah,
having a superb season. I'm really glad for keeping him on, to be fair.
and I think when we come to look at signings, he's got a young family as well. I think when people talk about movement of players, it's a very different scenario for a younger player. He's late 20, I think he's 30, just turned 30 now. He's got a young family. His kids are in school. I think probably in Welsh medium school as well. So it means, those sort of considerations come into any discussion about any player about where and when they want to move.
Yeah, I think it is always important to. I was thinking that last week actually on the pod when we were talking about players. Like you often talk about who's performing well, who's not, who we'd want to bring in, and so on. But you are actually talking about people's lives and livelihoods as well. And I always think it's important to keep that in mind. When you're talking about contract renewals and so on, there is a very real kind of consequences to these things. So yeah, agreed, Nick.
Stuff to sit on. Shall we move on to the game? We'll promise we'll get onto the big piece of news afterwards. Obviously, Ospreys hosted the Sharks on Saturday, late kickoff. Good atmosphere at the Brewery Field. What a performance. The game was a bit odd, shall we say. Is that the best way to describe it?
Odd. I mean, hosed them in the scrums in the first half, didn't
The very first scrum, yes, when
we?
dropped up the field for them. We didn't expect that to happen, did we?
Yeah.
Maybe you should have when you look at who was starting in the front row, mate.
I don't know what people think, but I got the sense that towards the end there we were holding on a bit. But I played with 14 men most of the game. So
Do you know what? Yeah, when you're saying we were hanging on a man down for 20 minutes. So yeah,
yeah.
you
Yeah.
yeah.
I,
You
I think
shouldn't be hanging on. You should be being beaten if you've only got 40
yeah.
men on the
Yeah,
squad.
no, I know. I've been a bit harsh, but it was just like it's just the sight of these South Africans against the Hazen running at people, you could
I,
see that physicality was starting to tell.
I tell you
Um,
what, Estason did have a bit of a stinker. He was in Dan Edwards' pocket all night, which I think was a remarkable effort from quite a small young 10. And he obviously threw the intercept for Garen Phillips's try in the second half,
yeah.
which was, he didn't want it, quite frankly.
I did say they didn't like it up on, didn't I? And
Every
Apologies, I
time there
used
was a
that
scrum,
on Monday night.
I know you
every
did. I
scrum
know. I
ended,
appreciate it.
yeah, I made sure that they heard that. They heard that up front, just from the terrace. But it was tough. Okay, they didn't look the best of the Sharks, but you look at some of the rugby we were throwing together in the first half. It was almost like, whoa, just calm it down a little bit. It was bloody fantastic to watch. Okay, slightly scary in terms of some of the risky balls we're putting around, but there's a degree of confidence in that team that I haven't seen for a while, and it was really good to watch. Really good to see them firing
It's
across the
almost
field.
like it's almost like they're secure in their future. I could just concentrate on the rugby.
Might
Yeah.
have been a little bit of news slipping out, isn't it, amongst
Yeah.
the players? But then, you see, Mark Jones has said, isn't he? The news coming out is really drawing the squad together. They were a fantastic training session today on the back of all this being official as well. So all positives, isn't it? It's amazing what you can do in it when you've got the guys in a good environment and not in the usual cesspit of Welsh rugby. So
Yeah.
long
I
may
think to
the sensible positive news.
I think to put in that type of performance, given the circumstances, obviously perhaps they knew more than we did, but they also had the and Jack's terrible news from last week as well. To put in that type of performance against a strong South African team, a very physical South African team, it shows how close they are. And Mark Jones often talks about this, about how they care about each other.
Yeah.
And whatever you talk about, individual skills and so on in the game, but it being tactics, that was absolutely evident on Saturday night.
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
Yeah, I thought Jack Morgan was immense in that game. Considering what he's gone through this week. Okay, well, shows the resilience and character of the boy. And again, you do wonder whether he didn't want to leave Wales, that he really wanted to play for the Ospreys if there's some sort of confidence that he could. Look at the consequences of the WRU's actions there.
we can go back to some performances on my day. Dan Edwards, I think, really, really stepped up.
Played really
His
well.
try was gorgeous, mind. Proper, like, I hesitate to say try of a season contender.
Yeah.
Take from Justin Hopkins was superb. I could watch that all day.
Yeah,
Right.
jumping in the middle of that crowd. Yeah, it was a fair achievement, that was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I got a confession to make. I saw that through a mirror in my kitchen. So where the mirror on the wall before I leave the house is, you can just see the TV. And I was making myself a cup of tea, and I'd answer the door to someone, and so I was looking at it, thinking, "Oh, nothing's going to happen here." I'm gonna watch it through a mirror, and then the group chat's buzzing. I want to try, and I'm like trying to get back in the kitchen. So it's the one I bloody missed.
Oh, yeah. It's just when things click. Okay, yeah, we look great to me, and that was ultimate clicking. That was like, oh my god! And again, a 10 with real pace.
Just
Wow.
it's just so it looks nice. It's just the amount of confidence we have to sort of pull it off. Sort of like 3-4 weeks ago, you just wouldn't have seen it, especially in the like 10 minutes in against the Sharks, and we've been defending our own line for pretty much those 10 minutes straight.
Yeah.
I thought our a centre partnership looked really good, both in attack and defence. I thought Owen Watkin had a very good game. The South African centre didn't really have much of a shout. A big physical man against him, but Owen put him in his place. And Everardi Boshoff has been a great signing for us. Our dearly beloved Richard Collier-Keywood says some of these signings are a waste of money. Well, I don't necessarily agree with him. I think he's been a great asset to the Ospreys. Reads really well, and when he makes a read and he wants to put pressure on, he times that so well, and he was really good in attack as well.
Yeah.
It was a very complete performance from us for probably the first 60 minutes. I mean, obviously, we conceded a try in a ref of half time, Ethan Hooker running it in after sort of a messy ruck, which is disappointing. But from sort of the next 20 minutes, first 20 minutes of the second half, we looked pretty in control until the fiascos started. Obviously, losing 3 props is pretty unideal. The uncontested scrums at the end were very funny, mind. Watching
in the ground, it felt it was fixed. We were giggling, going, "I can't believe we've done this. We've cheated. We can't believe we've done it." But when you look at Keiran Phillips after he scored his try, and the fact he looked like he was in a lot of pain, it's like, okay, take it back. We're not devious.
There's been a lot of talk, hasn't there, from JP Peterson and people that say, "Oh, like, it was done on purpose and X, Y, and Z." Firstly, like, it's not helpful because you can't second guess doctors and you shouldn't be doing so. All right. So, firstly, like, you've got issues in the game around like head injuries that are ongoing and legal things going on where, players were probably given like the best of care, but it wasn't, or maybe they weren't actually. That's the whole point, isn't it? You bring in independent doctors around head injuries and so on. They're there for a reason because this simply wasn't done properly in the past, and it's potentially caused problems now. The truth is, it's backfired. If they played that front row in the first half, the Ospreys wouldn't have scored the points they scored. They got penalties from scrums, which led to points being scored. So like it's pathetic, to be honest. You made decisions, and the decisions didn't work out. Well, that's a risk you run when you want to play the game like that. It's as simple as that. Yeah. you know, that's my ticket. And on top of that, the referee got it wrong. We shouldn't have been down to 14 men. Just
True.
saying. Theoretically, they shouldn't have been down to 14 men. So it all evens out. You win some, you lose some.
Yeah.
There we go.
Well, it's not the only reason that South Africans have been crying on Twitter this week. Obviously, when Ethan Hooker scored his try, Morgan dived on him basically as he scored it, dislocated Ethan Hooker's shoulder, which is awful. We're sorry if that happened. It's a bit of a cheap shot, it's a nasty injury either way. You never really want to see it on a rugby field. But Jesus Christ, Twitter has been going absolutely mental at it. I'm pretty sure Lukey Moggs has had more death threats this week than he has in his life. Bless him.
And his family as well. And I think that is just, you can be frustrated with a player, but to extend that to threats to his wife and family is absolutely bonkers. So I think people need to grow up. Yeah, you look at the incident, right? And how many times do you see someone dive in over the line, get landed on? It happens all the time. It's really frustrating. And yeah, okay, if it was one of our boys going over the line and someone landed on him, you go, done it again. It's happened, okay, and he's dislocated his shoulder. How often does that happen when someone lands on someone after they scored a try? It doesn't happen all the time. It's freak, isn't it? But you see those like minor sort of issues of, what, he hasn't grounded the ball yet. I'm going to dive on him even though he's going over the line. You're not going to get it anywhere. It's just, a level of frustration maybe. I don't know. But yeah, I don't like it. I don't like seeing people doing it all of the time. And it happens, oh God, every single weekend. Never gets penalised, which is really frustrating. So it's almost become the norm, isn't it? It's just unfortunate in this occasion it's ended up with a dislocation and a player being taken off.
And probably unfortunate. It was against a South African team who are notoriously bad losers. All South African rugby fans. It's always somebody else's fault if they've lost a game. The fact that they had 40 men against 15 minutes, 15, they had 15, sorry, against 14 for almost 20 minutes is brushed over.
You'd think that a union and a country that is currently in the middle of serious accusations around cheating, would probably, keep their noses slightly clean. But hey, there we go. I wonder how Jimmy Cowan felt after Backy's boat or headbutted him in the back of the head, and that was a cheap shot. Like the list goes on. I'm going to offer a different perspective on it. You play the whistle, and until the whistle's blown, saying the try's been given,
Yeah.
like so do I think it's a cheap shot? I You see him every weekend, right? And the player's diving in to score a try, and Luke Morgan is jumping in there. It lands on him. It's unfortunately dislocates his shoulder, obviously. But if the try's not being given yet, that ball is still live until the try is given.
Uh,
So
if
had
you
the
dive, if you're on the floor though, you shouldn't dive on someone on the floor. But
no,
what
maybe
on
not.
the
But I'm
floor?
saying,
What dive to
you don't know what's going through it. He could have been thinking, what if he's dropped the ball underneath him and it's still there? It's there to be,
Yeah.
dive on and win. It's a shit dive, and he hit the player square in the back. I'm not saying that, but there is a chance that his mentality there was, I'm going to try and get under him or dislodge a ball, or I don't know what's going to happen next.
Get him to
Because you
drop the
play,
ball. Yeah. Who knows?
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
It's
you play the
happened, isn't
whistle,
it?
because you play the whistle.
Like
So
Luke Morgan is classically a sevens player, end of which you're always tracking back to catch him over the try line. Because Ethan Hooker just doesn't look up, doesn't dive, and just stands up. Lukey Moggs is there to tackle him and potentially dislocate the ball. Like you see it all the time in sevens at the end of the day. And it's sort of naturally his mindset. Lukey Moggs has sprinted, caught basically 30 metres on him,
Yeah.
starting on the right wing, and made basically 30 metres on him, sprinting back. Like the fact he hit him a second later then is sort of unlucky. The fact it injures him is very unlucky. There's no malice in the shot. And quite frankly, I've seen so many of those shots from South African teams after the ball's gone down, especially in South Africa, that it's just like, it's such a nothing point.
yeah, you don't want to get into whataboutism isms. It says me bringing up the Jimmy Cowan thing, but like
Just
it's just like, look, like these things happen. It's a physical game. There could be many reasons why he jumped on a player. It doesn't have to be, I'm trying to, I'm trying to screw you here. Like it happens week in, week out. People need to, as Grant said, grow up and sort it out. Like you're talking about a fan base that like literally like doctored a photo to make it look like Alex Mann had two left hands. Like genuinely, get a life. Like get a life. Like, you can't be sending death threats to people. It's not on, is it? But there you
For
go.
a game of rugby where both teams are probably out of the playoffs as well, it's just
Yeah,
all right. We'll
depressing.
move on to the good news of the week. This is the part of the pod where if you are enjoying it, feel free to like and subscribe. We're getting on to the good bits now. Obviously, released today, 12 o'clock midday. News piece from WRU. Clarity for Scarlets and Ospreys. So WRU makes PRA 25 offer for all. To read the WRU statement, the Welsh Rugby Union and Y11 Sport and Media have jointly agreed that Y11 withdraw from the bid process for the proposed purchase of Cardiff Rugby due to constructive discussions with, with Ospreys expected to sign the 2025 professional rugby agreement shortly. Uh, that's a good piece of news, isn't it, gents? Like, quite frankly. And it really
Oh,
must be said, what the fuck have we been doing for the last 6 months?
Brilliant news.
I just
Brilliant news.
did they really mean to say due to constructive discussion?
were the were the
Following
construct
constructive discussions, not due to them. Oh, due to us having a sensible conversation, we went, no, this is wrong.
were the constructive discussions kind of like oh, we're not buying Cardiff anymore. Lance signed the PRA, is it?
It's a shit show, isn't it? I'm sorry to. It's an absolute shit show,
Yeah.
and I just feel so sorry for us and the players and the families and the staff. But everybody, we just gone round in bloody circles for 18 months, or certainly for 12 months.
Yeah.
No,
This time
really.
last year, PRA 25 was still on the table for all. It
Yeah,
was just into May when it was pulled off the table, when the WRU would not offer up the guarantees that the Ospreys and Scarlets were after in terms of fair distribution of money around owning Cardiff. A year later,
Yeah.
what's happened in the meantime? Everyone's been put through the ringer. Well, sorry, everyone in
yeah,
West Wales has been put through the ringer, especially Ospreys.
yeah.
So
So, and that's
yeah.
just the first line, Zach. That's the first line of a long statement.
Carry on, Zach.
I'm not
Keep
going to
going.
read the entire thing. Right, there's a couple of key quotes that are still in there. The WRU imply that we know we need to move to three clubs. Nothing has changed there for both financial and performance reasons. So we can invest in the right way in our pathway to ensure a future of the games. Said Abby Tierney. I'm sure that'll last a whole year before that's changed again. This move brings more stability to the system where it's needed. There's calmness and assuredness for our plans for the future. Which, you know what? Yes, you know what? Fair enough. I'll give you WRU that one. Y11 presented the best bid for Cardiff Rugby, but WRU has ultimately concluded that it is in the best interest of Welsh Rugby for Cardiff Rugby to remain under WRU ownership for now, which is once again quite funny. We remain undeterred from our ambition to move to free professional sides. We will continue to invest for 28 million with earmarks for our pathways over the next 5 years in a phased way and retain ambitions for commercial growth in the professional game. I'd like to add that we're very grateful to Y11 for the professionalism and commitment to Welsh rugby that they've displayed throughout this process. That is the most nothing statement of all time. I do not care.
Could I just say something quickly about that Y level for professionalism commitment to Welsh rugby? Is posting pictures of your pints in the sun while you're sailing players and staff down the river a professional way to behave? Not sure it is. Like, just putting it out there. No
No, I agree
offense,
with you.
but
I agree with
like,
you.
I
Yeah,
I didn't. I think the
Oh, he's gone.
at all from start to finish by Y11, by our chair people, by the WRU. Like the whole thing has lacked any sense of professionalism. It's say
You
one
could,
thing to this, say one thing to the other. Sorry, Grant.
I would say in terms of professionalism, when you're under an NDA, you can't say anything. And we've had no news of me since Christmas, effectively. Okay. And no, the news has eventually come out. So it's always a case of there's things you can't say, so you don't say them. And in the meantime, the void is filled with pure speculation. And it hasn't just been speculation this time around, I don't think. I think it's been people with agendas aiming the barrels directly at the Ospreys, isn't it? Okay, so it's like we've been in the line of sight of everyone, so us. And either you're thinking, right, we're professional, we're not going to say anything until we got something which is factual. Okay. And I suppose at the end of the day, Y11 haven't said a word, have they? Not one word through any of this. So to actually have a statement from Y11 in here is the first time they've made any statement, I think, publicly, probably since Nick Garcia left us.
I mean, yeah, I understand that, but I do think that like while I respect and understand that you can't say certain things, there is a way that you can conduct yourself beyond that. And I think that like say it's all rumors, it's all hearsay, I shan't be responding, which is fine. And then, whilst you know what is happening in behind closed doors, like to me, I just don't think that is particularly a great way to be communicating with your fan base because that's just my point of view. And I understand that it's always more complicated than what we see. But like in general, I think that like the communication of all of this, even now, has been piss poor from top to bottom. You know?
I think I've got some concerns. It was interesting, and Grant will know this as well, and you will have seen pictures that first time we saw our CEO was on Saturday night. He was there on Saturday night and was talking to people and so on, which is fine. Of course, we haven't seen him for months now. Uh, but I do think the club now and ultimately at any organization, it's a CEO who is responsible for that communication. So therefore, we need to hear something from him. We've got the rest of the week now. We need some very positive news around player re-signings, and also we need some very positive news, hopefully, about Grant not getting wet next season, which is our biggest concern.
As far as I've got one thing on my agenda, and that's the roof for the terrace. Because when you look at what we've got in Bridgend, okay, I don't think there's anything else like that at the moment. It's like a gentler, friendlier version of being in Rodney Parade. Okay, with a lot more talent in the singing department when you're in Bridgend as well, compared to the chance you get down east. Okay, that's the you've got to look at it now. The news has got to follow up, isn't it? In terms of right, this is agreed. Swansea Council have been very clear. The fact, right, okay, let's get things going. And again, Rob Stewart saying we've wasted a year and a half, haven't we? But let's just get on with it now. And the news has got to follow. We've been asking Lance and asking the Ospreys senior manager, saying we really need another Q&A. And you'd like to think that if you're waiting for any news to be made public, this is the only news that's going to be coming now. So, okay, now's the time where, from a sports club point of view, we'll be asking again, saying, okay, right, is this the time? Come on, then. It doesn't matter if the season's finished. Even that we need the gap. We need the gap filled, okay, between the season finishing and knowing what's going to start happening at the start of next season.
And hopefully we'll be. I totally agree, and hopefully we'll be announcing season tickets opportunities. So we need some good news to encourage people to come. What will be a fantastic opportunity to go and watch the Ospreys in a redeveloped St Helens, close to the city centre, close to our main fan base of Swansea, the Tower Valley and Neath Valleys. So now is the time to do that.
Yeah.
It's nice that we can sort of step on now. We stop sort of living we sort of know at least our future for the next at least 2 years. Minimum, probably for the next 4, hopefully. and it'd be nice just to like focus on the rugby for a bit because I don't know about you boys, but I'm a little bit sick of the politics.
Oh, 100%. 100%. And
I
I
don't
think
know
it's
what. Yeah, 100%. We rugby supporters through and through. I mean, we want to be talking about our team, not talking about the WIU's mismanagement. And I don't really want to be talking about am I going to have a terrorist roof or not.
Sorry.
But until it's confirmed, I'm going to carry on nagging people, and you know who you are. So I send you texts.
Shall we move on then to some rugby? I think
Yay.
has there any been results in the community this week, Grant?
There have been plenty of community results this time round. Go through my Sharks info and on to the community results. SRC playoff, Aberfan 10, Bridgend 13. They go through to quarterfinals, I think. I still can't quite work out how the SRC plays off. It'd be interesting to sit and listen to some of those SRC pods. Anyway, Premiership, Cardiff met 34, Neath 40. If anyone was keeping track of the score during that game, I'd abandoned all hope, okay, at the point where I headed off to Bridgend. Okay, so fantastic result there to come back from 31-5 down. Well done, Neath.
This is last week when he was claiming he wasn't a Nice fan, and that was just the Maltese cross was just there as a typo.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. Okay, never mind. Right. Championship West. Aberystwyth 33, Gorseinon 45. Ammanford 36, Newcastle Emlyn 28. Bonamine 24, Trebanos 23. Rinny 35, Tondi 37. Gowden 29, Tartar Steel 35. And finish off Kenfig Hill 33, Dunfern 24. So Bonamine are 1 point behind Ammanford at the top, okay, but they've got 2 games in hand. So it's a nice tight end of the season in the Championship West there. Moving on to the East, League 6 East Central. Beddau Athletic 73, Kenfig Hill Athletic 7. Bear in mind, Kenfig Hill are third, and they've just taken a beating from Beddau Athletic, who were sailing away at the top of that league. And then Bridgend Athletic seconds, 22, Llanrumney 19, so good home win for Bridgend Ath. League 1 West Central, Abergravie 22, Hale Cave 17. Nantafallon 43, Astragan Lice 24. Skywin 19, Aberafan Green Stars 17. So looking at that league, okay, in terms of who's taking top spot, it could all come down to Bilth and Abercrave sitting there first and second, and they play each other in the last game of the season. National League 2 West Central, Birchgrove 5, Neath Athletic 43, Moston 38, Brinkethin 31. So Neath Athletic and Aberafan Quins are promoted from League 2 West Central. League 3 West Central, Brincoch Resolvent playing out a 24-all draw. Maesteg Celtic 28, Tonna 36. Nantamile 3, Carmarthen 39. And Tonmar 21, Rickos 31. So Carmarthen gained promotion there. It's a 3-way fight between Brincoch, Tonna and Resolvent really for the other promotional spot. It could go either way. There's probably favourites in there, but it's not Brincoch, unfortunately. League 4 West Central. Hang on a minute. I've got a little bit of... I need to move that because it's right in the middle of my screen. I've got a big banner saying I'm screen sharing there showing Keiran score, but they beat Penlan. Gleis 25, Bridgend Sports 24, and Pontardawe 21, Cwngors 51. So Maesteg promoted and Gleis demoted there. There's still a few... it's quite a lot to go for on the remaining games in League 4 West. And League 5 West Central, Cumtoch 36, Banwan 12, and Pontrydd Event 29, Cumgrach 31. So Cumgrach are well clear at the top. League 1 West, Larne 30, Swansea Uplands 26, Wanali 34, Hendy 15. So Uplands, Swansea Uplands could sneak promotion, but highly unlikely there. League 2 West, League 2 West, Pencloud 15, Carmarthen Athletic 29. Pencloud the last but one at the bottom there, but Whitland even worse. That endeth this week's community results.
Plenty of good games there. Lots of high scoring rugby. Shows the weather's taken a turn for the best.
I don't mind the high scoring rugby was 34-37. The one is 73-3 whatever. Yes, not so much, is it?
Yeah, you want it close still. And if everyone's going to score 40 points, I'm not going to complain.
I take it the backs are a little bit happier and they're running around, okay, when the sun's out. Topping up
Yeah.
the dance.
Speaking of suns out, it's supposed to be quite a warm day, Friday evening, 7 o'clock kickoff, Cardiff Arms Park. They were fucking shit last week.
Hey, don't say that about the WU's Cardiff. Come on now.
I was, we were at the ground and everyone's going, oh, they're taking a tump in Cardiff. Absolutely terrible. Wow, it's awful. It's awful. And you look at the result, go, hey?
Hey, yeah.
So, like, there's two shit teams then, is there?
I mean, I think the Scarlets did the most Scarlets thing imaginable, and Cardiff did the most Cardiff thing imaginable. I think I was talking to Hugh off the Saucepans and Sidesteps, of which just saying this is the most Cardiff Scarlets game I've ever seen ever. And I was right, because the worst team won it. Surely that's inspiring for us going ahead into this week where Cardiff looked pretty fucked, quite frankly.
I think the Y11 news is fairly inspiring. I think the URC's post of bigging up Cardiff, saying, "Come on, yes, yeah, let's look after the capital. The Ospreys are next." Okay, yeah, pin that on the dressing room door as well, isn't it? Even the URC are against us.
Would be the first time. It should be quite easy for the boys to get up for it. Quite frankly, Cardiff's pack did not look good on the weekend. They have Ben Thomas at 13, for fuck's sake. Like, they are a team waiting to be beaten. And we don't have a Tame Plumtree at 6 to lose us a game. Surely that should be in our favour.
Oh, it should be a win, but
Favourite for the game. Genuinely favourite for the game. Really? Against a team who was seventh, in a playoff position, with a lovely easy run in for the rest of the season. Yeah.
you never know, do you? Welsh derbies and all that. But Hubcap's coming home, boys. Hubcap is coming home. Um, should be beating them. Should be.
I
I
think
mean,
if
the
we
physicality. Oh, sorry, carry on, Nick.
no, sorry, I think if we put in any type of performance, I think we will. I don't think there'll be motivation will be an issue, but and our physicality is normally never an issue, whoever we pick. So if we put in any type of performance and perhaps improve our lineup a little bit from Saturday, that went a bit wonky at times, and I'm sure they'll have hopefully addressed that. And Cardiff didn't have the best day of the lineup, did they, in Parker Scarlet? So yeah, I'm quietly confident.
I think I'm a bit more than quietly confident. And I'll be singing my allegiance is proud in the North Stand.
Right. To play devil's advocate, though, Friday night, good weather, Cardiff, Barnes Park. Expect the crowd down there, wouldn't you? They do get good crowds down there, particularly on Friday evenings.
I expect it's going to be probably about 30-70.
Yeah,
Losers and Blacks.
yeah.
Like, I'd imagine there'd be some big noise from us, at least. I can't wait to go to the W. Unfortunately, there's no use protesting on 11 minutes anymore because Y11 are useless. We need to find a number to associate with WRU shit show.
WRU, we watching you.
It's all a comedy show at this point.
I'll talk about that. Did anyone see? I was watching, like going back to the Sharks game quickly. Did we all enjoy the banner that was trying to get into the camera?
The
Dave
last
to
50.
sleep, and he like just kept moving around, and like it was brilliant.
Well, some of the Ospreys management were chasing around, and Stu was chasing them around, and he going, "Well, Brad, have you seen the banner?" I said, "I think it's gone that way." He said, "What's wrong with it?" I said, "Oh no, we don't want to see. No, we're not trying to stop them. Okay, it's just we can't see it long enough to see what it really says. I just want to see it." So I've done it before, and they were. I wouldn't say what the comments were based on when they sent them evidence of a selection of people at the end of the game all cheering around it. So
Yeah. No, yeah. Going back to this game anyway. I, I don't see it being too different from the game of the festive period. I just think the pack is stronger, more put together, more physical. Backline's also slightly more physical. Cardiff can play real good rugby on times. Like they've got very good backs, you know, and when they click, they do play well, and they throw the ball around well. But it's just about, it's it sounds so cliche, but keeping it tight, mauling, rucking, and all the things they don't particularly enjoy, and then when it's time, kind of, you know, score the points and keep that scoreboard pressure, I suppose, keep it ticking over. But if you give space and you allow Cardiff to play and you allow their pack to get on top slightly, they will, and they've shown this season they have been a good team. Jokes aside, that they have had some very good performances this season. So the Ospreys will need to be like on their game and will need to be physical and do all the things that like Cardiff rugby just aren't necessarily associated with that we are. I often think that there's very opposite approaches to the game actually, with us versus Cardiff in terms of how historically the teams have like structured themselves. Ospreys built on really good pack, really good forward work, uh, being hard work and everyone coming together. And then Cardiff obviously having, you know, Galacticos kind of excluded. They tend to have more backs play and play more running rugby. So it's always an interesting game, but yeah, I think if the team that turned up on against the Sharks turns up again and plays the way they do and they don't go down on uncontested scrums, I don't see why wouldn't be able to put a decent score on them actually. Don't know what you
I'm
both think, but yeah.
I'm slightly concerned about our propping department and that do we have any loose heads left fit? I think it's
Well,
Steph
apparently they
Thomas and
were
Cam
injured,
Jones.
so they should be back. According to JP Peterson, they're fine. So it shouldn't be a problem, right?
I'd be quite comfortable with Steph Thomas starting. We might need to put Cam Jones onto the bench, but Steph Thomas I think, has had a really good season. He's when he stepped up, we've been fine in the front row.
Yeah.
So I've got no problem with Steph Thomas starting. We might lose a little bit, obviously, if we can't bring, if Gareth's not fit enough to even be on the bench because it's HIA. I think Mark Jones said in his post-match interview he'd failed the first HIA, but they weren't necessarily ruling him out at this point because of the normal procedures around HIAs.
It'd be nice to keep him sound, to be fair.
Mm.
Naturally, just keeping him in the squad would be great because he's a real asset at scrum time. Was putting the Sharks loose head in his arse multiple times over a weekend, and it just shows how crucial he is. I'm not too upset though at loose head. I think Cam Jones is very good for his age, and he is a big man,
Oh, he's very big.
which helps a lot. I mean, tight heads maybe a bit more concerned. Depends how fit Tommy Bofer is. He
I
put in
think he
a
just came off he did his normal fantastic 50 minutes and came off.
no. I think
He sit by us. He didn't look injured to me. He just did his normal 50.
I think if he was fit, he would have had to come back on
Right, I see.
to play loose heads in the uncontested scrums, which there was some mess around at the time. So it's like
Right, okay.
it's
I think,
unclear.
am I saying thinking Keiran Hardy could potentially be given some more time? I mean, he's in the squad. He's been in the squad back in the last season. He's been in the squad this season as well. Like, if you're ready, you're ready. If you're not, I know he's young, so you don't want it. Props very different, isn't it?
Yeah.
In terms of when you put them in and when you don't put them in, and how you bring them in. But I mean, is that Cardiff front row really that good? Like,
Shouldn't be.
I think
so
Keiran Hardy is very highly thought of.
exactly, you know.
But we've still got a chance. I mean, we've still got the glimmer of qualification for the top eight. Okay, if we get 15 points from the three games, okay, it's a real, you expect other results to go away. So I think in terms of some experimentation, until it's genuinely dead in terms of hopes, then we've still got to go strong,
I mean, yeah. Yeah, that's fair enough. That's fair enough.
which might not suit me when I go to Dublin.
I was
Yeah,
gonna
and
say,
I think that's just to pick. I think that's what they did last year in South Africa, wasn't it? You think of that Lions game. I think Keiran Hardy made his debut in that game,
yeah.
and obviously he's played since. But I think he might be right there. They might just hold a few back to that. You know, as you say, till we're actually out. Well, we won't. We'll go as strong as we can against Scarlets, hopefully. But certainly Leinster away, it'll be perhaps a little bit of rotation without it.
Leinster away at the neutral Aviva Stadium
Yeah,
because there's no other stadium in Ireland that could possibly.
it's a nice stadium. I like it there. I'm happy there.
Never
Yeah,
been.
so to Leinster apparently.
I mean, we've still got Big Sexy to come back in as well, to be fair.
Hopefully,
The man, the myth, the legend.
Yeah,
Just
and Ben Moran as well.
been more on
I
finish.
don't know if you've heard the rumors, but Big Sexy's actually being moved to fly half next season if Jack Walsh goes. True story.
I wouldn't doubt it.
yeah.
Upset either. uh, shall we finish this pod off then, boys? Score prediction, something funny. Nick, as you're coming on, do you want to start us off?
I think it'll be close, but I do think we'll win. So I'll go us by 3. And on top of that, Reece Henry will actually drop a goal in to Adam Jones when he just missed. When Adam had unfortunately had to play for the Balloon Blacks, but he did try a drop goal, I think, in his last game, and only just missed. But Reece Henry, being that better kicker, as Jack has alluded to, will actually put it between the posts.
Sure. Jack?
Ospreys by 14. I reckon two converted tries. Why not? Something funny. Gosh. I would love the idea that there was someone else with a sign there running around the Car Farms Park trying to get that in shot as well.
That could be sorted.
What it would say, I don't know. Like peace in our times, like maybe something like that. Just, like running around.
Y11 in.
Yeah. I, I love you lads. I always did.
Grant?
I'll go for Ospreys by 7. And in terms of anything funny happening, there might be 20 people, okay, just running the stadium last moment, still in the cycling gear. I've been cycling up for the day. Can't wait. In like the Jerry Collins black and gold cycling tops. Yeah, I don't think I'll leave that on to watch a game. Me?
I think I'll happily end off with Ospreys by 6. And I think someone from a WRU start boards is going to be spotted in the crowd. Dave Redden, Abby Tierney go to the one rugby game of their lives and just will then be piled on from everyone else.
They probably want to go and see what they own now. Isn't that customary?
Yeah. What's going on next door? Yeah.
Make sure everything's in working order as they get pumped. Ideally. But I think that brings us to an end for this evening. Obviously, more news coming out as we speak, which is always fun. But if you have enjoyed, please drop a like or subscribe. It means a lot to us. And until then, we will chat to everyone hopefully soon. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Bye.